Hi, I'm Marlon from Bursty Twin Stories, and today I'm going to share with you my 6 mistakes that I made all within the first year of being a published author. If your time is valuable, I'm going to just tell you the 6 mistakes right up front, and if you want more detail, then keep watching farther in the video. Mistake number 1, rushing. That's a big one. Number 2, review swapping. Don't do it. Number 3, losing money to Amazon ads. Number 4, treating it as a hobby versus a business. Number 5, social media as a black hole. Number 6, making the changes. We learned so much, and yet it took us a while to make changes. It's humbling. So keep watching. Now I'm going to go back through. I'm going to explain in detail how we made all those mistakes and how you can learn from them. So our first mistake was rushing. All right, our very first book, the whole time it felt rushed because we had this pressure that we wanted to publish by summer. But that's a deadline that we created. And so we had a few bumps in the road, some troubles, a few setbacks. Like at first, we had an illustrator local all set up, and then it fell through. And we thankfully found an awesome illustrator on Upwork, and that was amazing. Thank you, Nakshi Goswami. She did a great job. But it always felt rushed. It always felt like we were behind our deadline. And it did still get published by the summer, but we published it with a few mistakes because we were just so desperate to get it published. And in hindsight, I'm like, why was I in such a rush? It could have been published a month later. It would have been fine. So for our second book, we took our time. We learned from it. It was actually a month later than we thought, but it made it so that we got everything right and we got it done the right way. Mistake number 2, don't review swap. Whatever you do, don't do it. Amazon doesn't like it. They can terminate your account. Your reviews can disappear. Just don't do it. But I understand the pressure. So at the beginning, you have a new book and reviews do help. Reviews do give it credibility. People can read and know that it's good. Okay. This lady was like, here, you read mine. I read yours. I was like, okay. I didn't know any better yet. It was a mistake. She gave mine a 5-star, a glowing review. She liked it. And when I read hers, I was kind of like, I didn't know what to do because it wasn't that amazing. It was like clip art or AI. The images just weren't that amazing. And it was translated from another language. It didn't flow the best in English. And like I wanted to be encouraging, but suddenly I had this pressure. I was like, well, she gave my book a good review. I feel like I have to give her one. But I'm like, but that's not honest. I have to give an honest review. That's part of Amazon guidelines. So I did. I gave her, I think it was only a 4-star. I was still being pretty generous. And as soon as I did that, she instantly went and lowered mine. And I was like, well, wait a minute. Like, you gave me a 5-star. I thought you liked it. And so suddenly, thankfully, our first experience was that bad. But I was like, wait a minute. This is not good because she has a pressure to give me 5 stars, whether or not my book deserves it, because she wants 5 stars. So just don't review swap because it's always going to be a little bit biased. If I read your book, you can't read my book and leave a review. So we made another video about author review sites, which some people worry is review swapping, but we looked into it, watched a lot of videos, and it's not direct review swapping. So I read and review books, and the people who I read and review for with the algorithms, they will not ever see and read and review my book. So there's a whole video. I'm not going to go into that, but that seemed to be a way that we learned from our mistake, and it helped us put our book in front of readers and get honest reviews. They're all different stars. Some are 5, some are 4, some are 3. Whatever they are, you're not guaranteed a good review, but it puts it in front of people. So that is pretty awesome. You do have to create a good, high quality book. If somebody says, I will read your book and you're guaranteed a 5-star review. Well, that is not go with Amazon's terms and conditions because it's supposed to be unbiased. We want to keep Amazon happy and we want to keep our readers happy by giving them accurate reviews. So we actually made a few more videos here and here about how to leave a good review on Amazon. Mistake number 3. We lost a fair bit of money to Amazon ads. I feel like it was like almost $1,000, but we weren't breaking even and we kept them going for a little too long. So we made some videos about the struggle with Amazon ads, why it's so hard, the bid price and all that. And we also made a video about what works, which gives more detail. So our biggest mistake with Amazon ads was underpricing our book and also not really paying attention to the data. So at first, when you read the data, it makes it look like you have lots of sales. Look, it's more than your cost. But then when you actually take it apart and look at the targeting, you realize, oh, that's not royalties. That's like as if I actually got $15 per book, when really I get 5. Whereas for the first month, I thought like, woohoo, it's working, awesome. And it wasn't working. All right. So it just kept maxing out our budget. and I just was misreading the data. And the main secret is just pause it, okay? You don't have to keep going. If something isn't working, pause it and learn from it. Mistake number 4 is that we treated it like a hobby, and really it was a business, which is like okay at first because we didn't make a lot of investments. We just kind of published a book and then we're like, woohoo, we'll just see if anything happens on Amazon. But nothing happens unless you market your book and unless you actually push it. So at first we were a little frustrated because we were treating it like a hobby and then nothing was happening. But then we realized, well, if we're unhappy, we want to make it like a business. And if I'm going to make it like a business, that means I have to work hours. I have to actually invest some money into it. I have to have goals that I can meet, that has to be feasible. And so we really noticed a positive shift when we made goals. We started signing up for vendor events. We learned from other people. We talked with other authors. And when we started treating it like a business, it became a business. I still haven't quit my day job. I'm not making tons and tons of money, but when I treat it like a business, that is actually when I get sales. But as long as it was a hobby, we're like, yeah, I just love writing. It's fun. I put it on Amazon. I'll see what happens. You won't make any sales. So that's our mistake. It's still a small business, but it is growing. Mistake number 5 is the black hole of social media. We really had to practice time management. And at first, we were not very good at it. So in the name of marketing and promoting our book and connecting, we were spending hours and hours on social media. And it was starting to affect our family life and my sister and I's relationship because in the past, in the evening, we'd play board games, we'd do different things, watch a movie with the kids. And it just felt like suddenly now any free time, I'm quickly like I'm on social media, trying to market, trying to make things. And well, yes, there's a time. I do think social media has helped. I do think there's a lot of benefits. We are going to make a video about that too soon, but really practicing the time management because yes, it's a business, but that means I need boundaries. Social media is designed to be addictive. It also distracts you. So often in the name of like marketing, I'd be on there and really I was doom scrolling because it sucks you in. It shows you, it distracts me. Suddenly I'm watching like horse videos, parenting videos, traveling. And I'm like, oh wait, I was on here to market my book. You really have to be disciplined when you're on social media to be intentional and to network, promote, get it out there, create content. So we learned, and now we put some restrictions. We're only trying to go on in the morning before the kids wake up and in the evening. So that way, like we're also modeling healthy social media, right? I don't want them to see me always on my phone. And I also don't want to always be on my phone. Mistake number 6 is we didn't make the changes, okay? It's kind of embarrassing when you know you made a mistake or you kind of feel guilty or you're like, oh, I don't want to tell anybody my mistakes, but you learn from them. The biggest thing is actually make the changes. We had some examples. We had an issue with our title page, okay, the font. We even offset print 500, a whole bunch of books with that mistake. We rushed. And now I'm like, the next order, we are going to fix it. And we did. All right, we fixed it on Amazon first, so it got fixed. But actually make the changes. If there's something you don't like about your book or the ads or the description or your A+ content, make the changes. It feels a little humbling to admit like, oh, my A+ content wasn't very good, but you can always make it better, right? You can always upload a new PDF or a new file or a new image, but make the change. Another thing to think about that we had no idea our first book was that often when people look up your book, they just see an itty bitty little thumbnail, okay? They just see that little square of your title page. I didn't even think about that. And so that was the change with our title, is that you couldn't read it in a thumbnail. And so I was like, it's fine. But that little mistake was affecting Amazon ads. It was affecting people not buying it. And so just make the change and it does help. Thanks so much for making it to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, please comment them below. I'd love to answer. I love to share my experience. And I like to hear from you guys. So always like and subscribe. We're trying to grow so we can help more authors. Thanks for watching this video.